Hi guys, in case you don't know me, I'm Ben. On TikTok I'm known as Ben of Wands, okay? I just want to give my honest review as a fellow psychic medium of a show I went to last night at the King's Theatre in Portsmouth. So I went Thursday last night on the 31st of July, and we were seeing Sally Morgan there. I went with my friend, my two friends. And I just want to give her a review of what I thought of her show, okay? And how she was and how the whole experience was. So, the start of the show, it was quite dramatic, cinema effects, you know, and she really, like, in her introduction, made it about the fans, saying she interacts with her fans are her everything, you know, and really like that, okay? I will say straight away, she didn't interact with no fans, okay? As soon as the show ended, she was out that stage door quick enough. She didn't wait around, okay? I will also say I was lucky enough to receive a message from her, okay? And when I was getting the message for myself, a lot of it made sense, but she needed to dig more deeper. And that's not me being bitchy. It's just when most mediums will know this, and most psychics, when we're getting something and if someone's not making sense, they do need to dig deep, especially when you're working with symbols, okay? And I was just really disappointed that I felt quite sorry for her and all, because she got a lot of no's. And as a medium, you can't be affected by the no's. But she wasn't connecting. Does that make sense? She wasn't connecting. She was funny, and she looked absolutely amazing. But the first half was on for an hour. So when she read the first couple of people, you thought, wow, that evidence was spot on. Okay, and then when she got further in the link, she kept jumping from people to people to people, then linking this name to another name. And I think, well, that works well for her, you know. She's doing how she works, because we all work completely different, okay? So, but then certain people weren't making sense of it, okay? And I do find she was using like generic names, and when I've spoke to other people from other shows, she uses the same names like Charlotte constantly. So I do think she gets into certain habits, okay? And I will also say is towards the end of the show, well, halfway through, people were walking out. People were booing her, okay? And there was a lot of no's. Towards the end of the show, about 30 minutes into the second half, she was seeing people walk out. People were just getting up out of their seats and walking out. And I really felt for her, because people, you got to give her some credit. She's 75 years of age. Takes a lot of guts to get on a stage in a theatre and perform. But that's what she was doing. She was performing. It was a bit of an act. We did have torrential rain last night. All of a sudden, rain come gushing in off the balconies where no one was sat on, and the members of the audience got soaked. And she's like, oh my God, where's that come from? She went, the roof's caving in like that. The roof's leaking. All the staff that we spoke to at the end said there was no signs of any water coming through. Okay? And they don't know where this water come from. I think it was one of her team personally, because they knew the show was going bad, that actually sabotaged it so she could end early. She was off that stage. There was no goodbye, properly nothing. She was straight out that door. She didn't greet anyone. I will also say, when you see her on TikTok, she makes a big deal about these badges. I really wanted a Sally Morgan badge, and I never bloody got one. No, but there was no interaction, okay? And to me, for someone who's quite new in their journey, and I really looked up to her, you know, at one point, that's made me realise how I don't want to work. And that's not being bitchy. I don't want to work like that. I don't. I'm glad the way I work, and I listen and trust spirit, and I listen to my psychic abilities. But yeah, I was really disappointed. If I was going to rate her show out of 10, and this is no judgment, because I do think she's remarkable for getting on stage at her age, especially with what she's been through, I'd probably give her a 4 out of 10, okay? And I am going to be honest with you. I've seen better mediumship from people that are beginning on their journeys at churches and Zoom services than I did with her. She could have dug so much deeper last night, and I just thought it was really lazy mediumship. Okay, I'm sorry if this offends anyone. I'm just giving my honest review. I don't feel she was worth £30 a ticket. I don't. Okay, there was no interaction with the fans, and what you got to remember is you're nothing without your fans. Okay, I love and support and bother with everyone that follows with me on TikTok. Okay, and I'm only on about 12,700 followers. Okay, and they will all tell you they all have had that interaction with me, or I will try. Do you know what I mean? But there was no interaction. I felt yesterday it was obvious she was just there for a paycheck. Okay, and she was too busy promoting her TikTok, her website. You know, I just felt like there was no connection there anymore. I hope this doesn't upset anyone, but personally I think there's better mediums out there that I've seen, and they're cheaper. Okay, and I just felt like her work wasn't amazing. In her day it was probably so much better, and she is getting older, so you've got to give her that credit. But I was extremely disappointed. Honestly, I was extremely disappointed. Would I go again? No. I'd still have the badge though, because these badges are hyped up, but I never got the badge, which I was gutted about. Right, thanks guys for listening, and this is just an honest review of my opinion. Okay, and I just want people to be aware of, if you're spending that sort of money to go and see someone like her, just be prepared. Because when I've spoke to other people, when I done a live on my friends earlier, and we were talking about other experiences, this seems to happen at her shows. Like there's a technical cut, or the water incident. This seems to be a recurring habit, and I just feel like you need to be aware for what you're signing up to and what you're buying. Okay, thanks guys.